Hey guys, welcome back to another video with the one and only Jess, and in today's video, as you can see by the title, we will be talking about love. We'll be talking about relationships, okay? The expectations versus reality, the truth about these relationships that we're having in society, right? And I'm just doing this video in the name of love, in the name of February. We're gonna add a little pizzazz this month, and I just thought, okay, why not, give you guys something that matches with the theme of the month. Also, big up to my sister for giving me this video idea. Yeah, you girl, love you down. So yeah, if you guys are interested, please keep on watching. But before we start, do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications and hit that bell so you get notified every time I upload a brand new video. And without further ado, we're not gonna waste our time. Let's get into it. So yes, as I said, it's for the theme of love, or for February. And I know a lot of us are in relationships, a lot of us aren't, but no matter your status, this video is still a good video to watch, to get some pointers, to get tips, to hear what I'm talking about. And to be honest, we're just gonna have a free-flowing conversation. I do have, of course, my handy dandy notebook. You know, always I gonna know the notebook have the notes to kill, but it's just for me to have like a guide, and they would just bounce off of that, right? So the truth about relationships, expectations versus reality, right? So I'm gonna read you guys like a little synopsis of like the background of having expectations and the reality of it, so you guys can get like an understanding before we really delve into the meat of the matter. So, when comparing expectations of relationships to reality, a major difference lies in the often idealized perfect picture people hold in their mind versus the messy, imperfect nature of real partnerships, where conflict, compromise, and personal growth are inevitable, leading to potential disappointment if expectations are too high or unrealistic, right? So we're not saying to not have expectations, because for me, let's kind of break it down a little bit. To me, having expectations means you have standards. So if you have standards, it's going as you know what you want, you list it out, and I expect this person to at least meet some, if not all, some of these expectations. If them not lick off nothing off of your list, them not mean nothing, it does not make sense for you guys to even try to force being together or anything. I'm not saying someone needs to match everything or be perfect, but don't make nobody tell us you have too much expectation. I feel like that term of, oh, you have too much expectation, that's why you're always disappointed. I don't think there's no such thing as having too much expectations, because if I don't have any expectations of you, then what am I doing in the relationship? Am I gonna just have you being free willy-nilly and just be like, yeah, same stay, or that's how she stay? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I feel like everybody needs to have some form of expectation, but make it realistic, right? Because everything is not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Your partner might be perfect for you. However, they are not a perfect person. You are not a perfect person also. So you can't expect them to be this prim and proper, perfect human being, because you'll get disappointed. And the reality of it, as the definition says, is like you're gonna have conflict, you're gonna have to compromise, you're gonna have little disagreements, like little arguments and stuff. And while you might not want that, it possibly can happen. Right? So let's kind of get into the unrealistic expectations that some of us may have. And let me know if you guys agree with any of them. So the first one I have is perfectionism. Expecting a partner to be flawless and never make mistakes. As I just said a while ago, nobody is perfect. Nobody's perfect. I gotta work it. Getting together will make it right. Uno get the reference. The girls that get it, the girls that don't. But yeah, like, you cannot expect somebody to be a perfect person. Everybody has flaws. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. All right, we're done with Anabantana. We're done. Let's get back to the meat of the matter. But yeah, perfectionism, as I said, nobody's perfect. That's just plain out simple. So you cannot go into a relationship expecting a perfect person head to toe, no mistakes. They know everything. They know what they're doing. They know they're so positive and them just have everything correct. No, because if you are not perfect, how do you expect the person that you're trying to date or be with to be perfect? You get what I'm saying? So that just plain out and simple and to the point. The next thing is another unrealistic expectation is having that person being your sole source of happiness, right? Relying on your partner to be the only source of joy. And I realize a lot of people do this where they just believe that the person that they're with is the only person that's going to make them happy, the only person that's going to bring them joy, no frustration, no negativity. You rely on that person to keep you smiling all the time, keep you happy all the time. But on the flip side, the reality is that person can't keep you happy all the time, because what if that person isn't even happy themselves? How are they going to make you happy just because you want to be happy? You get me saying? And then also, for you to be happy, you also need to find happiness within yourself. You also need to find happiness within yourself. You can't depend on somebody to do that, because when they somehow fail to do that, you are going to be disappointed. You're going to probably resent them. You're going to feel a way like, oh, like, look how, your job is to make me happy, or your job is to do this, and you're not doing that, and them something that cause problems. You have to find happiness within yourself also, for the sake of if that relationship ends and that person leaves, your happiness is not tied to them. Whenever them bounce and them go about them business, you're still a happy person. You still have happiness being maintained in your life. If it was only solely based on them, when them gone, you mash up, You mash up, you cry, you're depressed, anxiety. Oh my God, anxiety, stop. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to just tie to the person. And that's really not supposed to be the case. You have to find true and pure happiness within yourself, within your heart, within your mind. Just in the event that something was to go down, you not rely upon them for the happiness. If them gone, them just gone. And you still have your happiness maintained. Nobody depend on nobody about, oh, they make me happy, they make me happy. And if nobody else not make you happy and they don't make you happy, all of a sudden you sad. That's because you're relying on them for no apparent reason. And you shouldn't, right? Another expectation I would say is wanting like the person or your partner to treat you a certain way. We do have those expectations, which nothing is really wrong with that. But let's say, for example, you want them to be like, okay, as a female, you want the man to be a comforter, a provider, a protector. You want them to know how to handle you in certain situations. It's like you want the man already come and have them type of something they lack. Like, you don't want to teach him how to love you type thing. But if you really think about it, a lot of persons, they cannot love you how you want them to love you because they weren't raised that way, or they've never seen that before in their life. So yes, they want to be in a relationship with you. Yes, they love you down. But certain things they've never seen, so they don't really know how to act on that. It's almost as if you have to train the man, or a man would probably have to tell his girl, like, this is how I would like to whatever, and the girl would have to, But in some cases, it's always like a woman sometimes teaching the man. Let me know if you guys, like, am I making sense? Like when I agree? Like, sometimes men really lack little brain cells, and them don't really know how to treat a woman. Like, they love you down, but they don't really know how to do certain things. So it's almost as if you have to kind of guide them and like, hey babe, this is how I would like to be treated. This is how, I would like you to deal with the situation and whatever. Because really and truly, sometimes if you not tell them really don't know what to do, and it gets frustrating as a female sometimes. Like, oh, he's a big tough turbid man, and you don't know how to do XYZ ABC. And then sometimes on the flip side, you kind of have to have grace with them and be like, okay, Maybe you've never seen this before in your household growing up. Maybe you never have this. Maybe you just not know. So let me show you how I would like to be treated, or this is how you're supposed to do this. This is how you're supposed to do that. So it's like, it's almost as if you can't really have much expectations with some men for them know this is what I'm supposed to do. Sometimes you have to kind of guide them and let them know what is going on from what isn't. And as I said, yes, sometimes it gets frustrating because why am I teaching you like you're a child and you're a big man? But when you really deep it, you really have to kind of navigate them through certain roadblocks and streets for them to understand. So, okay, this is what she wants, and now I know, so let me cater to her. Right? Another thing I want to bring up in regards to the expectations, I saw a video on TikTok earlier, I think today or probably yesterday, and it was a podcast with two girls, Jamaican girls, and they were like, when you have like a trip, like, oh, I'm going to the beach, and they're like, and like, you'd have one of the friends say, oh yeah, my boyfriend will come, I'm gonna bring my man. Before we get into the details, right, there's this expectation in relationships where you feel like you have to include the next partner, and they want to also be included as well. I feel like a lot of people have that expectation. Everywhere you go, your man go, and everywhere you go, your woman go. So in the video, they were like, okay, going on the beach trip, and somebody will be like, oh, my man, I go. What do you mean your man is coming? Why, who, what, when, where, and how? Oh, we're going on a girls trip. Oh, so my boyfriend won't come. Is he a child? You can't leave him with his mother or his granny. Him have to come as a big tough turby man. I'm like, people need to stop that, especially the girls. Like, if you have a girls trip, your boyfriend don't need to be there. He does not. You see, if it's a trip where it's like a group of you guys and all of a friend and everybody is bringing their boyfriends, that's a different story. But this expectation of wanting to include, I need to include my partner, and the other person's in a fit them head, they want to also be included. No, you don't need to be. Why we go on a girl trip and your man is coming? You can't go nowhere without the man, and the man can't go nowhere without you. And I feel like in that sense, or in a man's mind, they just want to be included. I don't know if it's a jealousy thing or your neighbor string tied to your girlfriend, but it's like they want to be there. But you have to understand his boundaries. So if you go on your boys' trip or whatever, there's no girls there. If you go on a girls' trip, there's no boys there. Cause what you mean you go on a girls' trip, we're going on a beach trip, and you go come tell we say, your man want to come? That doesn't make sense. It just really doesn't. So the moral of the story in that sense is like lessen the expectation of wanting to include your partner. They can be included in some things depending on what the situation is. But other than that, leave the man child at home, literally. Even if it's anyway, even if it's under your nose. Because if you and him, they're around each other every day, 24/7, why when it's just for your girls, you want to include them? And that's another thing. Like, people get into relationships and like sometimes them no know how to manage them relationship and their friendships. So a lot of the time, as soon as you get a man, you drop your friend them. You get me? And then now, if that same man, let's really get into it. Like, if that same man cause problem or just bother you and just like piss you off, who you gonna run to? Because you drop all of the friend them. You get me saying? And then it's like you constantly wanting to include your man in everything. That is going to also kind of hinder or like ruin your relationship with your girlfriends, them, your female friends, because everything the man feel like is a child. But understand, if you have a baby and maybe you have to bring your child with you somewhere because you can't really leave them certain places. But a big man, you bring on a girls trip, you bring on a beach trip. Crazy. Editing Jess here real quickly. Another thing that I had forgot to mention in the expectations part is also tied to like the gender roles, like having an expectation that because a man is a man, he must only do like men related things, and because a woman is a woman, she's supposed to do women related things. So men should just be working, go out and work, be the breadwinner, bring home the money, sit down and cock up in foot like the olden days. And then the woman is supposed to wash, cook, clean, take care of the kids, plus take care of her man and still find time for herself and all these stuff, right? And I was having a debate conversation yesterday with someone about that. And let me know what you guys think about it. Like, I feel like that expectation needs to be dropped, especially in today's society. That this is a common one that is like always mentioned in our generation. Because we not put up with that. As a man, if you know how to do things, just do it. And as a woman, if you know how to do everything, you still do it. You still help out each other. Stop keeping up this mindset or this expectation that I expect you to do this because you're a man. Take out the garbage, do this. I expect you to do this as a female. Cook clean, me not touch no dishes as no man. And when I come in from work, my food is prepared. You know what I'm saying? So that was a key important point that I missed. So I just felt like I had to add that in here. But let me know what you guys think of gender roles, because me not go with that. As a man, if you know how to cook and you know how to clean, yeah, come help me. And if me know how to do certain things, you will also get help from me as well. Period. Okay, back to the video. But yeah, let's get now into the reality of relationships, right? So now we did the expectations, unrealistic aspects of it. Now we're going to get into the reality of what's really going on. So the first thing I have on the docket is conflict is normal. Disagreements and arguments are natural. Point blank period. As I said, nothing perfect. Even though you and your partner may not have like big arguments, big blowouts, there might be a few one and two little disagreements, a little slight tit for tat, but you have to know how to communicate with your partner to get over those little small things. Because to be honest, sometimes even the smallest little arguments and more little disagreements, them they can make you stop talk to each other for like days, depending on you guys' personality and attitude, right? So no relationship is perfect, no relationship is smooth. It really is just based off of communication. And then the second thing I have is individual needs and growth. Partners will have different needs and priorities that may change over time, which is true. You cannot expect your partner to be the same. You cannot expect them to grow the same wavelength as you. Remember, I said the tone is two different persons who just came together to be together. When it's not Siamese twin. So what you do, she can do. And what you do, he won't do. You get me? So even though you guys are in a relationship together, you have to remember that you guys are also two separate persons with different goals, different aspirations, different life paths, different destiny. Right? So you have to be a supportive girlfriend and support the boy or the guy on his path, and then you have to be a supportive boyfriend to support her on her path. You get me? Because growth is inevitable and growth is going to always be there, but do not expect that you guys are going to grow together in the sense of doing the same exact thing, or you are growing and they are not growing and you want them to do the same thing as you taking this life path, which means they should also take that life path with you as well. No, we're not two different people with two different destiny, and that's just how it is. The third one is imperfection. Everyone makes mistakes and partners will not always meet expectations perfectly, which we already touched on before. As I said, nobody's perfect. I said that 100 times in the video. Imperfection is going to always be there. Flaws are going to always be there, but it is a matter of how you guys deal with it and work around it. Compromise, basically. And the last one that I have for the reality of relationships, effort is required. Maintaining a healthy relationship involves active effort from both partners to communicate, support each other, and navigate challenges. Communication is a big key. So if you're not talk to your partner or you don't really express certain things, you guys won't be able to overcome whatever the challenges are. So if you battle up and him battle up and nothing is getting said, when you can't even cross that bridge. And when you don't cross the bridge, later on when something else pops up, when I go bring up stuff from the previous, and then it's gonna be a whole big blowout. You get me? So effort has to be taken, like from both parties, both sides of the relationship. One person cannot be putting in 100% and the other person barely even reach 50. It's not gonna work. It has to be a balance so that you guys can be equally, infused with each other on different levels, and then that way you guys can know how to navigate challenges, any issues, any problems. But kind of basically the main point of a relationship, honestly, when you just want to live peacefully and be happy, right? Oh no, one is one bag of arguments, a lot of toxicity, or anything like that. The whole point or the aim is to just have like a smooth flowing relationship until you guys get old and dead, right? So it's like try everything to make it work and communicate and make everything run smooth. Yeah. And then the last thing I kind of want to touch on is the negative impacts of unrealistic expectations, right? So when we have these high expectations, or, as I said, expectations that are unrealistic, not attainable, or whatever, we can get disappointed. Disappointment and resentment, which leads to frustration, because when you have these 10,000,001 expectations and your partner isn't living up to these expectations, we can resent them. We can be like, so then like me just hate him, like him never not doing what I want him to do, and like he's not even listening and blah blah. And I mean, to be honest, sometimes it can be hard to speak to your partner about certain things depending on their personality, because sometimes they can be very snappy when they're like responding to you, or sometimes them probably just don't know how to communicate. So it is hard for you to sit there and communicate without them probably blowing up at you. So I think it has to be a case of figuring out the timing and the place in which to approach them about how you feel. And I've experienced that, like sometimes I just feel a way, like I just want the man in my head back, and I just stay quiet. Because I'm just like, if I say something to you and you give me a response that just does not sit right with my system, it's gonna piss me off even more. And I realize that I just stay silent sometimes, but we end up talking about like some of the stuff on a different level, when like a different day, when everybody just look chirpy and feel nice, and somehow we just talk about it and then it pass over. Because if you talk about some stuff in the heat of the moment, the message does not get relayed how you want it to, because you're not listening and it loud that nothing is coming across. But if you guys dial back, make it die down, and kind of discuss it the following day, it's more easier for the conversation to kind of get through to the other person. Another negative impact of unrealistic expectations: communication breakdown, no open communication, which ties into what I've been saying throughout the whole entire video, right? So me not gonna want to talk to you, you not gonna want to talk to me, because we feel away. And then nobody's going to want to talk first. It's like a competition. Who are gonna speak first? You or me? And if everybody have them pride catch up, nobody's gonna want to talk first and say what they need to say. And then the last thing of the negative impacts is decreased relationship satisfaction. You're not going to be satisfied with your relationship after a while. It's probably going to get boring to you because the other person isn't meeting your needs, meeting your expectations. They're not understanding, when you voice to them, this is how you feel. They're probably never not take it serious. They're probably doing a business. And that is going to affect you. And if they don't understand how that is affecting you, what's the point of sitting in the relationship and trying to get them to understand you? If me have to try or force you to understand me, you go your way and me go my way, point blank, period. You get what I'm saying? Them something you really take a toll on relationships, but it's a matter of how you handle it. And it also depends on who you're with, because as I said, some people can be snappy, some people can be very sharp, and how you may handle a situation, they might handle it totally different, which might upset you. So I think the main goal is to find like a common ground of where you guys can meet in the middle to voice your opinions and make each other know, okay, this is how you're making me feel, this is how you're making me feel, how can we fix this type of thing. But yeah, that's pretty much my little chit chat, my little video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I felt like I touched on some great points and gave you guys like some details. But yeah, overall, honestly, in like this generation, we really do have some expectations. Some people have too much high expectations. So I'm not saying don't have expectations, but some people have some expectation. Yeah, say where I come from, who, what, when, where, why, and how. You get me? And then the reality of it, once you get into the relationship, it just mash you up and it disappoints you. But at the same time, as I said in the beginning, I don't think there's a thing of too much expectations, because to me, expectations mean you do have standards, right? Right? Wanna agree? Leave a comment down below. I feel like when you have standards, that means you hold yourself very highly, right? And as I said, a person does not need to meet or necessarily meet all of the expectations, because nobody's perfect, but they should be able to tick off some boxes on your list in order for you guys to work together and be compatible in that sense. But I feel like it is better to have expectations than to not have any at all, because when you don't have none, it's like you guys are just in the relationship willy-nilly, and whatever happens, happens, and it just looks like nobody cares. But when you do have expectations and you guys do agree on, and you know the funny thing, let me pinch this in real quickly. When you're going into a relationship, or it's getting to that part where you guys are about to lock in, have a discussion with each other. What are your expectations of me? What are your expectations of me? What would you like to see from me? And so on and so forth. What don't you want to see? You understand? And when you guys have an understanding from the jump, right? I don't think there's going to be even room for disappointment. Even though people change as we now grow in the relationship, I don't think there's going to be too much room for disappointment. Why? Because you guys already established from the beginning, like, this is what I want from you and this is what I want from you. And if you can't meet this, we're going to work on this. And if I can't meet this, we're going to work on it and alter and change and whatever. I feel like that is a good idea. Discuss it from the jump. And that's just with anything across the board. When it comes to relationships, talk about what you guys want from each other before you lock in the relationship, so that nobody gets disappointed along the way. Right? I think that's the main point that I'm going to end on right there. But yes, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope, some gems were dropped and that you guys agreed. If you guys disagree on some stuff, please leave the comments in the comment section below. Let's have a discussion with each other. And yeah, let me know what other videos you guys like to see for the month of love. I have a next video come next week. I think we're not gonna love the video, We're not gonna love the video because it's very juicy. Yeah, so let me know what other video ideas y'all want to see for this month or just for the future in general, and leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe, and always remember to turn on your post notifications. And yeah, see y'all in another video. Bye.